everyone, I'm Brooke Parrish, a second-year master's student at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and today for What to Know Wednesdays, we are going to be talking about lunging. So if you missed the video last week, you might want to go back and watch it. It talks about your equipment adjustment for lunging. And so today I have my friend Royal here helping us to discuss lunging. So first, before we start, we want to kind of talk about a few reasons of why you should lunge. And so Lori mentioned one last week, and that would be, especially this time of year when it starts to get colder, horses are going to be fresh. So just knocking the freshness off them would be one reason to lunge. Another reason might be to evaluate the soundness of your horse, especially if you're maybe the only one working with that horse or kind of knowing what's going on with that horse. If you throw it on a lunge line before you hop on it, you'll be able to kind of evaluate the soundness from the ground. A vet would also be able to put a horse on a lunge line to evaluate soundness as well. And then another reason would just be kind of to check in before you hop on your horse. So we talked about knocking off that freshness, but more than that, just to make sure your horse is responsive to you on the ground before you hop on them. So we'll go ahead and get into how to lunge. So you'll see I have my lunge line already hooked up correctly, and then my lunge whip. And so our whip is essentially going to be an extension of our hand, because when we send that horse out on the circle, we're gonna need something that's a little bit longer to encourage them to move forward or move away from us. And then what we wanna try to create is more of a triangle between us and our horse. So in this case, if we went in a circle to the left, my left hand would be encouraging him to go forward and move to the left, and then my right hand, my extension of my hand with the whip, will be encouraging him to move forward and away from me as well. And so I'll go ahead and show you guys what to do. So what you want to do is you want to step back towards their flank area, and then you will send them out with your extension of your hand, your whip. And so I like to make sure my horses are checking in with me, and so I like that Royal walked off. That was really good and made our lead open. So then I can go ahead and ask him to jog, and we're just using that extension of our hand, and then I'm using my left hand to kind of show him where I want him to go. Also really important to use your verbal cues here, so you might have heard me clucking to get into trot. Another thing that's nice is when we can get our horses to stop at a parallel away from us. And so this is more of a personal preference thing, but if we can get our horses to stop at a parallel to us rather than facing us, we have less of an opportunity for a wreck because they won't be running towards us or stepping all over the lunge line. Another thing I'll mention too is that you can lunge with or without the saddle. And typically people, when they want to knock off the freshness or simply evaluate soundness, they'll lunge without the saddle. But if you want to lunge before you ride, you can certainly have the saddle on at that point as well. You might just want your horse to be a little bit more mannerly if they have the saddle on while you're lunging. The last thing I'll mention is that you can switch sides and lunge from the other side as well. So all you would have to do is unclip your chain, or if you have your lunge line wrapped around the front, you would just switch the clip side. So you could run it through this opposite side and run it through the buckle here, and then underneath or over the top, whichever you prefer, and then just clip it to that opposite side. And then I could lunge him to the right as well. So I hope you guys learned something for this What to Know Wednesday video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please mention them in the comments. It'd also be great to see any takeaways that you guys have. So if you want to mention any of your takeaways from this video in the comments as well, that would be fabulous. Have a great rest of your day.